What about our forefathers' sins? Whether you're a Christian or not, there is certainly a propensity to look back at our ancestors and feel a little bit, well, frankly, ashamed. We can talk about the greatest generation and all that they did to stop the Nazi advance and to win World War II and protect Western civilization, but these are the same people that seem to be okay with Jim Crow laws. We can talk about our heroes that were the founding fathers of this country, and they not only supported Jim Crow laws, but most of them supported chattel slavery. And we can keep doing this from generation to generation as far back as we go. We can find perspectives on right and wrong, perspectives on ethics that we would find appalling. And that really shouldn't surprise us, because that's the kind of people we are. There's going to come a day when people look back on this generation and be aghast and appalled. I'm strongly suspecting that it's going to be over the 60+ million babies who have been murdered in their mother's wombs with the full protection of the law. History is going to judge this nation and those fathers who we are over this. What I can't quite figure out is that sense of moral superiority that we have over our fathers when we're able to see this happening generation after generation after generation, and we seem to have no idea that it's going to happen to us. As a professor of ethics, it is regularly my calling to challenge my students to see if they can discern some sort of objective standard of right and wrong. And typically the closest they can come is, well, society says. Society says it's wrong to do this. Society says it's wrong to do that. And I very easily point out to them a long litany of societies who said things were wrong that we would say were right, and who said things were right that we would say were wrong. Now, this shouldn't push us into some sort of relativism where we say, well, because we disagree with our ancestors and our descendants will disagree with us, therefore there's no right answer. Rather, what it should push us to is an acknowledgement that we're all bad people. C.S. Lewis, in his wonderful essay on the reading of old books, which was written originally as a foreword to Athanasius' book on the Incarnation, talks about the phenomena that we typically are ignorant of, the unexamined assumptions of the culture in which we live. This is where we get that expression, does a fish know that it's wet? The benefit of reading books from other eras is not that those other eras don't have their own blind spots, but rather Lewis points out that their blind spots are very often different from ours, and ours are very different from theirs, and comparing the two can help us, as it were, step out of the water and take a look at where we're coming from. That's what should happen when we look back and say, well, how did they believe this? Or how did they believe that? And recognize, hey, well, what are my kids going to say about what my generation believed? Friends, our calling is to a level of humility, not about whether or not there is a right and wrong, but about how we measure up to it. And as always, it's easy to compare ourselves to our view of our ancestors who aren't with us to defend themselves. But when we do so, we set up ourselves to be the victims of the self-same treatment by our children. I hope and I pray that my children will be have greater character than I have, that they will grow and mature, that my family will enjoy a progressive sense of sanctification. But this much I know. Until Jesus comes, the Sproles are just going to keep being sinners. Growing in grace, yes. Redeemed, yes. But still struggling with sin.